My husband's mother planned the whole family vacation without inviting me, then called furious when he canceled and booked us a trip to Europe instead. That should have been the end of it. But with Diane, nothing ever ends cleanly. The phone call came at 6:47 a.m. on what was supposed to be the first morning of our honeymoon in Paris. "How dare you embarrass me in front of the entire family?" she shrieked before I'd even said hello. Apparently, she'd spent the last week telling everyone at the lake house that her son had finally come to his senses about our marriage. Let me back up. Theo and I had been married for 3 months when his mom sent out a group text announcing the annual family reunion, 2 weeks at their lake house in July. She listed every family member attending: Theo's dad, his 2 sisters, their husbands, all 4 kids, even his cousin Brett, who nobody had seen in 6 years. My name wasn't on the list. When Theo asked about it, she said, "Oh, I assumed you'd come alone. Give you boys some bonding time." Theo pointed out that I was his wife now. She laughed and said, "Sweetie, family vacations are for family. She'll understand." I told Theo to go without me. I meant it. But he just stared at his phone for a long moment, then called the airline and canceled his flight. That same night, he booked us 2 weeks in Paris and Rome. The flights alone cost more than I made in 2 months at the clinic. Diane called 47 times in 3 days. Theo ignored everyone. She showed up at our apartment twice. We didn't answer the door. Her final voicemail said, "You're choosing that woman over your own mother." So there we were in Paris, eating croissants in our tiny hotel room at dawn because his mother had somehow gotten our international number. Theo's face had gone pale. "Mom, we're not having this conversation," he said quietly, but she wasn't done. She informed us that she'd told everyone the truth, that I'd manipulated Theo into abandoning his family, that I was isolating him, that his dad was heartbroken. Theo hung up. We spent the rest of the day pretending everything was fine, but I could see him checking his phone constantly. That night, his sister Violet called. "You need to fix this," she said. "Mom's been crying for days. Dad's barely speaking. You're tearing this family apart over a stupid vacation." We came home early, not because of the guilt trips, but because Theo couldn't enjoy anything with his phone exploding every 20 minutes. The moment we landed, Diane announced a family dinner to welcome us back and clear the air. Mandatory attendance. When we arrived at his parents' house, the entire extended family was there, all of them staring at me like I'd personally canceled Christmas. Diane stood at the head of the table and smiled. "Now that everyone's here, I have an announcement." She reached into her purse and pulled out a manila envelope. "Since you two missed family vacation, I thought we should discuss your future family vacations. I prepared some guidelines." She slid papers across the table. Actual printed guidelines. Rule number 1. Family events take priority over personal travel. Rule number 4. Spouses attend family functions separately until they've been married for 5 years. Rule number 7. All vacation plans must be approved by family vote. The room was silent. Theo picked up the papers and read through them slowly. His hands were shaking. Then he did something I'd never seen him do. He laughed. Not a polite laugh. A deep, genuine laugh that made his dad flinch. "You're serious?" Theo said. Diane's smile faltered. "Your father and I spent considerable time." "Do you have any idea?" Theo interrupted, his voice dropping to something cold I didn't recognize. "What you actually just handed me?" He pulled out his phone and took pictures of every page. Then he looked at his mother and said the words that made everyone freeze. "This is going to be really useful in court." The silence that followed wasn't the kind you get when someone makes a joke nobody understands. It was the kind that happens when everyone realizes something fundamental just shifted. Diane's mouth opened slightly. His dad set down his wine glass with a clink that sounded too loud. "Court?" Diane repeated. Her voice went up half an octave. "What are you talking about?" Theo stood up. He gathered the papers carefully, folding them along their original creases. "I'm talking about the restraining order we're going to file. The one that's going to cite this document as evidence of harassment and attempted control." He looked around the table at his sisters, his dad, his cousin Brett, who was suddenly very interested in his plate. "Anyone want to explain to Mom what happens when you put threats in writing?" "Threats?" His dad finally spoke. "Theo, these are just family guidelines. Your mother was trying to what?" Theo's voice cracked. Not from emotion, from something colder. "To legally mandate that my wife isn't part of this family for 5 years? To require a family vote before we can take a vacation?" He held up the papers. Rule number 12. Failure to comply with family guidelines may result in reduction of inheritance consideration. That's not a guideline, Dad. That's extortion. I sat frozen. I'd never heard Theo talk like this. In 3 months of marriage and 2 years of dating before that, I'd seen him frustrated with his mother. I'd seen him tired. I'd seen him make excuses. But I'd never seen this. Violet spoke up. "You're overreacting. Mom just wanted to make sure that I know my place." Theo finished. Rule number 9. Spouses may not speak during family meetings until invited to do so by a family member. Rule number 15. Family members maintain veto power over spouse-related decisions, including career changes, major purchases,